Hey everyone. So today I'm doing something a little different. I'm gonna play through this whole game. This is actually a Let's Play of Dear Esther, the landmark edition thereof, which means it's just the remake that came out in 2012, I believe. I think the original version of this game was like 2009 or something. Anyway, this game was recommended to me by a friend, and it's supposedly a really good game to just wander around and explore the mystery. It's apparently just a guy on an island, a deserted island off the coast of Scotland, I believe. The Hebridean Islands, they're called. And there's like a mystery. You're not sure why we're there, but there are clues to why. Even the player is not disclosed all the information from the character you're playing as. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. There's different stories that can take place in this game, or different unfoldings of the same story, I think, but different bits of information that you get on different playthroughs. So no matter what, this is a blind playthrough, because I don't know exactly how this story is going to unfold and what conclusions I'm going to draw. But let's just jump right into it. I think all my options are set up as I need them. I've got I can't really control this with the... Okay, O or B is the... I'm using a controller. B is the select button. So yeah, we've got... Okay, I'm keeping this game on low resolution so that it doesn't, like, lag. So fingers crossed on that. And we've got captions. Okay, good. I'm just making sure everything's set up as I did beforehand. Alright, let's just jump right into it. No director's commentary. I do want to play through this game with director's commentary at some point to get the behind-the-scenes info once I'm done. But let's just start from the beginning, shall we?
Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island. Somewhere between the longitude and latitude, a split opened up, and it beached remotely here. No matter how hard I correlate, it remains a singularity, an alpha point in my life that refuses all hypothesis. I return each time leaving fresh markers that I hope, in the full glare of my hopelessness, will have blossomed into fresh insight in the interim.
Okay. So here's a lighthouse. It's pretty dilapidated looking. Is that a person up there? I don't know. I think it's just part of the light. I know there's instances in this game, from what I've heard, where like you see people creeping about. This is kind of like a horror game. It's not a horror game, but it's a little creepy sometimes. So we can explore this building or go over there to what appears to be another lighthouse, or like the Eye of Sauron or something. I don't know. It's like glowing red. That's kind of ominous looking. So I zoom in with all the different buttons. I don't think any buttons do anything else. I guess if I need to pick something up, it's going to be B, but I don't think... Whoa. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Sorry, I accidentally turned up the volume. There's a volume toggle on my headphones. You can't hear the volume change, but I can in my ears. So let's see. I'm standing on the dock here. Can I swim? How far out to sea can I actually swim? Let's try it. See how good of a swimmer I am. Am I going anywhere? Kinda, yeah. Okay, whoop, no. Uh-oh. What's happening? Whoa. I think I just drowning. What's
Come
happening?
back.
Oh my. What? And believe it or not, I actually got an achievement for that. For drowning myself. That's crazy. Okay. I don't think that's much of an achievement in this situation, or any situation most of the time. But let's explore this creepy looking house here. It's a little dark. Oh, we got a flashlight. It automatically went on. That's a really dirty looking toilet. I do not want to sit on that thing. It's probably better than most gas stations though. Or not. So this place looks like it has not been lived in or used in quite some time. There's like books, journals, I don't know. Somebody spilled paint. Whoa, what? That's like a chemical formula somebody painted on the wall. Hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, H2O. No, there's no water. I don't know what that is a formula for. I didn't pay close enough attention in chemistry. I don't think it... What does that mean? 3 hydrogens connected to a carbon. H3O? Or no, there's no O. The O's over there. I don't know. I don't even know what this is painted in. It's like fluorescent paint. Fluorescent... I don't even want to think about what that might be, actually. Alright. I'm not going to be able to make any sense of that. Oh, there's a can of whatever it is. But I don't know. Alright, well, I don't think there's really much to see besides that in here. Kind of defeats the purpose of washing your hands if you have to use that thing. Alright, well, let's get out of here. Turn off my flashlight. This guy's British, so he would call it a torch. That's what British people call flashlights. He's Scottish. What kind of paint? What does it say on these these canisters? Can't read anything on there. There's a whole bunch of these in here, though. So somebody was going to town with... Oh, there's more inscriptions. It's kind of a mess, but they didn't get the formula down other than over there. It's a boiler? Huh. Well, someone used to use heat in here or something. Anyway, let's continue on. Should I go up the cliff first or down? I think let's go up here first. I think these paths will pretty much just cross at some point. So I guess the goal of the game is to reach that far off blinking light tower thing. The Eye of Sauron, as I like to call it. The goal of the game is to get the ring to Mordor. So that's the twist. This is secretly a Lord of the Rings spin-off. Whoa, I just kind of like floated over that gap. Or I sidled over the rocks. I don't know.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
So some thoughts. A, who the heck is Donnelly? B, how did he live to be over 160 years old? And C, why was he trying to talk to sea creatures? It's getting surreal and supernatural. Or maybe his legacy lived on that long. I don't know. Why was he trying to talk to the sea animals? Okay, don't answer that question. I'm sure the game will find a roundabout way of doing so. Whoops! Whoa, okay. Fell off a cliff. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think I was getting past there. Alright. See, what did I tell you? I knew this would happen. So this is kind of a nice secluded private beach with mists rising from the depths. It's a little ominous. What are these? These are like cages that had rats, like lab rats? I don't know. I was gonna say a shopping cart, but I don't think that works. There's not enough there. They're not big enough.
There was once talk of a wind farm out here, away from the rage and the intolerance of the masses. The sea, they said, is too rough for the turbines to stand. They clearly never came here to experience the becalming for themselves. Personally, I would have supported it. Turbines would be a fitting contemporary refuge for a hermit. The revolution and the permanence.
I don't see any windmills. I guess that's what a wind farm is. Farming wind. It makes sense, right? It's energy efficient. Doesn't pollute. I can't tell. I guess this place is pretty polluted looking. I don't know if it's polluted or just the weather's bad. The weather's been pretty bad outside in IRL. There's been a lot of stormy weather and rain lately. And this... What's this? This is... You know what this is? This is the, whatchamacallit? The golden ratio in art. Is that what that is? The golden ratio? Like the perfect way to get symmetry in a Renaissance painting or something like that? I'm gonna go with that. That appears to be what it is. This game is like a painting. I'm sure the golden ratio can be found somewhere. This game somewhere.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
Is it a tire? Also, yogurt. I love yogurt. Especially with strawberries. That's a Spaceballs joke, in case reference, in case you didn't catch that. The paint cans were full of yogurt. So I guess this Donnelly fellow crashed, was like shipwrecked here, and then stayed here. Was trying to do something. I don't know if I was shipwrecked here. I think I just came to the island. I don't know where my ship would be. This is also a dead end, that's why I'm going back, by the way. I'm assuming there's nothing else I can do over there. How did I get to this island? I didn't see a ship at that dock. And yet I seem to be familiar with this place. Like, I can't get away from it. I keep visiting it over and over again. Also, who's Esther? The game started but with me saying, "Dear Esther." It's fitting that I'm playing it this week, this Dear Esther this week, because August 3rd, today's the 10th, August 3rd was Esther Day, which is a nerd fighter holiday, in case you don't know, where that honors love between friends and family. People are supposed to tell each other they love each other. Tell someone you love that you love them in honor of Esther Earl, for whom the holiday is in honor. But that was August 3rd. So, yeah. Alright. Well, this seems to be the only path. This game seems pretty linear. Like, it seems like there are diverging paths, but then it goes back to the main path. Like, this is where I tried to jump over before, and it wouldn't let me. I'm cool with that. Well,
Donnelly's book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
These last days. Are these the last? Are these my... I'm saying my, but I mean the character we're playing as. Are these his last days? That's a little bit disconcerting, saying that. Donnelly does seem like kind of a not in his right mind fellow. Also, where's the library? I'm assuming this library was not on this island. I'm assuming you took that book out of the library somewhere else, so you knew who Donnelly was before.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
So you don't want to be rescued. I was gonna say, like, Donnelly or somebody made those white lines in the cliffs there. But maybe we did, or I did, or he did. This guy we're talking about. So, but he doesn't want to be rescued. So, the infection is not of the flesh. Yeah, I would say there's definitely some psychological stuff going on here. Also, Stonehenge much? Like, what's with the standing stones over there? How do we get over there? Oh, there's more standing stones up here. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, man-made or, like, hand-carved looking things going on.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Okay. So, the guts of this island. You have taken what to the guts of this island? Everything that might be important. If you don't know the biblical story of Lot and his wife, like when they were leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, being rescued essentially from the sinfulness of those cities, Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt, which means that she didn't make it out. There's a lot of ways to interpret that, but it's usually like look back and turn to literal salt. Or anyway, the point is, looking back is a bad thing, even though I just did it a bunch of times. But it's kind of meaningless to look back here. At least it's not condemning me in this case. But am I going the right way, by the way? Is there a way up there, or... Yeah, I can either go here... Oh, okay. See, all roads lead to the same place, in this case. So we're walking. There's a cave there. Seems like a rather large cave. Seems like in my best interest to explore.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason, or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
So there seems to be a lot of biblical allegory in this game. Paul and Lot's wife, and Damascus. Like Paul, again, like, you know, Saul becomes redeemed as Paul on the road to Damascus, where he was going to persecute Christians. But he instead comes to do God's work. And he changes his name. Anyway, so he just used that as an allegory for visiting some guy named Paul. And apparently me and Esther, both of these characters, are beyond the conceivable boundaries of life, which leads me to believe that this place is in fact a metaphorical island and not quite a literal island. There's a marooned ship. Let's go in the cave.
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Huh. Well, we've got more of these, it's the same chemical bond, it appears, as the one we originally saw. What is that for? I wish I knew chemistry better so I knew exactly what this meant. And that's just some weird, creepy, like, tentacle monster thing. I don't know. I don't know what all these scribbles are. That looks like a tree with just bare branches. I don't know. I'm just interpreting what I see here. But I don't think, yeah, this cave doesn't really go all the way through. It's just kind of like a roundabout. So so who's going around painting all this stuff all over the island? Is it me, or was it Donnelly who did that? I think it was me. I think he said something earlier about, like, hiding things in the depths of the island or whatever. So. Sorry, there's not much to say. I'm anticipating another voiceover because of the music.
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish. The sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage, with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
Excuse me. So Esther is, like, definitely dead. I might be too. I don't know. Is this the afterlife? There's books all. Whoa, is that a Bible? What is that? That's a creepy notion that, yes, human ashes make great fertilizer. um, and indeed, this place is as polluted as it looks. Also, I have to give credit to the music. I was talking about every time the music kicks in, it's very ambient and atmospheric. So credit, big credit. I know the music in this game is commended for its greatness. Like, it's one of the highlights of this game for a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot to highlight in this game, it seems, but I've heard good things about the music, and I'm definitely not let down by it. It adds a lot. It's gonna be... It would still be pretty weird if, like, there was never any music. I would just be expecting music the whole time, and it would be a little too unnerving, if you catch my drift. Oh, okay. New zone. And I got an achievement when I went past there. So
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay, I think I'm starting to connect the dots. Maybe. He's driving back and forth looking... Well, he's not now, but he was at some point driving back and forth to find the site of where something specific happened on the road. I'm gonna assume that was like a car accident that maybe killed somebody, and that somebody was Esther. Also, whoa, there's some big barges, the big ships there. I will go down there eventually. I want to explore up here first. I have a feeling that is where I mainly want to go. Yeah, this music is incredible. Look, there's a yellow light. I feel like Gatsby, if it was a green light, it would be like Gatsby looking out at the bay. The American dream. This is not the American dream, though. This is the British dream.
I've begun to wonder if Donnelly's voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean. Into oblivion.
So, whoa, what is it? Whoa, there's something written there. What does that say? Eat nor drink, and neither did he eat nor drink. Whoa. That's a weird place to paint something, too. I mean, was it painted there before the ship crashed? Or, like, did I or somebody else go out there and paint it while standing in the shallows? You know? It's a pretty, precarious place to stand and do graffiti or whatever. I don't know. It's not really graffiti, but neither did he eat nor drink. I'm pretty sure that's like a biblical passage or significant in some way. I think the TV show Lost drew a lot from biblical allegory too, or made a lot of biblical allegory, I should say. Didn't it? Well, it drew it from a lot of... everybody's name was like a reference to either a scientist or a character, like I don't know, or a person from the Bible, or like a philosopher, like John Locke, or Jean Rousseau. I'm not saying this game is like Lost. I mean, maybe it is. I liked Lost. Some people complain about how it ended. I didn't mind it. I liked how character-driven it was. This, on the other hand, has very few characters, but it thrives on that, it seems like. I don't think we're going to run into anybody else. I could be wrong, but I think this whole game is just going to be one guy just talking to himself and musing about the past. This is character-driven in a totally different way, like suggesting characters that are not actually right in front of us. I'm gonna go, I think this looks like it's a dead end. But there's probably something to be said over here.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
I don't know what to think of that. It doesn't really make it, how else could new hermits have arrived? Oh, he was painting on these. Is that what that is? Maybe not. Oh yeah, no, there's paint. There's like marks all over the place. Is this a measurement? A hole in the bottom of the boat. How else would new hermits? If there's a hole in the bottom of the boat, they wouldn't necessarily arrive anywhere. They would arrive at the bottom of the sea. Is what I would think would happen. I keep hearing noises, but it's just the creaking of the boat. This is a pretty unnerving game, I'm not gonna lie. I keep expecting something to sneak
I
up
had
on
kidney
me.
stones, and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Okay, so I was right about that she was hit by a drunk driver. He had kidney stones. What a metaphor for kidney stones for these kind of stones. I don't know if that is going to be significant. I'm not sure if I'm going the right way. Whoa, it's just like a giant pit here.
When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
Have we seen this? Have we been down there? Can I go down there? I'm gonna go for it. Oh god, I hope this doesn't give me like a game over.
Come back.
Nope, we're good, and we respawned right where we jumped in. We also got an achievement for that again. So this game gives achievements for doing dangerous things. I'm all like turned around now. Did I jump to the other side of the pit? I think I did. I've never seen that house over there before. I think I jumped and then crawled up the other side. Is that what happened? I could have just walked around like this way. Okay. I'll take it. Look at all this chicken wire. Barbed wire. What's this now? This hill. I guess I could have just come right from there, too. I think that's where I came from, so I'll just go all the way over here.
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
I've lost sight of the aerial. I don't see it. I still feel like we're on the cracks of doom in Mordor, but don't see the eye. This is like a stable, I guess. Horses, livestock. What was in here? I don't know. I guess all we can do is keep climbing up this hill. I like these. I mean, it's interesting that these paths are so outlined.
bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Well, that's unfortunate. So this guy Jakobsen was a shepherd. And I guess his sheep were here. Again with the chemistry. Okay. So I guess this guy Donnelly was here. Or was Donnelly here with Jakobsen? Were they both on the island at the same time? Donnelly wrote all the books, or the book that I read. I don't know if there's an actual library on this island. Anyway, was this where Jakobsen lived?
Inventory. A trestle table we spread wallpaper on in our first home. A folding chair. I laughed at you for bringing camping in the lakes. I was uncomfortable later and you laughed then. This diary, the bed with the broken springs. Once asleep, you have to remember not to dream. A change of clothes, Donnelly's book, stolen from Edinburgh Library on the way here. I will burn them all on the last morning and make an aerial of my own.
Okay, so he and Esther actually lived here. And this was like their home away from home. Like, is what I believe was just said. It must have been some time since they were here together. Interesting. Is that blood? It's creepy. Is it like a laundry basket or a wash tub? I don't know. Okay. I mean, you know, if it wasn't so creepy here, this would be a nice place to live with your significant other. I'm assuming she was his wife or something. Esther is a woman's name, obviously. We don't know much about her, but... Alright, where do I go? Is this the path? I already went over there. Okay, I guess we're going downhill now. There's another cave in the cliff. Yeah, this game is more or less pretty linear, but it's not a bad thing. Can I just, like, jump off here? What happens if I just, like...
Come back.
Okay, well, I get an achievement for that too, I guess. And I just respawn right here. There's no such thing as a game over in Dear Esther. Playing this game, it's August. Last year in August, I saw the Broadway show Dear Evan Hansen. And that is connected to this in really not any way. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure I could find connections, because, you know, it's how my literary...
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Well, I feel bad for Jakobsen because, or Jakobsen. I'll try not to Americanize that too much. He did not have he had a rough deal in life. But anyway, Dear Evan Hansen, yeah, heartbreaking, pretty whimsical often, but some heartbreaking material, some heavy material, I should say. So, and it's called Dear Someone whose name begins with E. So, of course, it's connected to this somehow. Not really.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness.
So what was Donnelly doing? Like, the whole time Jakobsen was going through all this stuff on this island, what was Donnelly... Was Donnelly just observing? Or, like... Is that a traffic cone? It's totally a traffic cone. What the heck? I would try to swim out there, but I know what happens when I try to do that. But I've never tried it in this exact spot, so... Can I swim? Oh, I can swim back up. Okay. Maybe I won't do that again. Can I like swim out on the rocks? Will I make it? Is it even possible? Like, can I actually swim? Can I be anything more than a terrible swimmer? I feel like I'm gonna swim out here and just like hang out, like chill. And then be like Ariel from The Little Mermaid and sing Part of Your World. Oh no, okay. Yeah, this isn't working for me. Alright, I don't think there's any point to this. This is getting surreal. This is getting... Alright. Alright, I don't think I can go out on the rocks. I think my forward movement ends so far. Managed to survive that. I thought there would be like a voiceover down here, like another. So these are letters. Like he's saying "Dear Esther," so it's like snippets of a diary or a letter that he's writing to her. That's what I'm assuming. That mast. It's vaguely cross-shaped. Not vaguely, it is cross-shaped. That's what a mast is shaped like. But now I'm just looking for a Christian allegory. Now that you brought up the whole Paul and the roads to Damascus thing. Well, I guess into the cave. Is that a cave again? Into the cave it is.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Yeah, you might want to get that checked out, dude. I'm getting a little creeped out. Yet I keep moving forward. There's nothing here. What is this? A book? What's in the book? Oh, it's a picture. Is that Esther? Is that somebody's picture? It's very blurry. Okay. I guess that's what I came here to see. Alright, well, that was a little offshoot to see that, I guess. She was like wearing a headband in that picture? I don't know. Is that Esther? I guess it was Esther. We don't really see... So far in this game, we've not seen a single human face. Not really. Alright, I can't climb over the rocks, so I have no choice. I have to go into the cave. Yeah. Let's go. Intrepid traveler. Whoa, is that a candle? It's a candle. Who was here to light a candle? That's a freshly lit candle. It's not... I mean, if any candle... Candles don't last that long. Okay. What happens if I jump down there? Do I die again? Is there even another way to go? I think I have to jump down there. Whoa, whoa! Yeah, I had to jump down there. Okay, that was the next zone. Yeah, every time I go through one of those zones and get a new achievement...
Donnelly did not pass through the caves. From here on in, his guidance, unreliable as it is gone from me. I understand now that it is between the two of us, and whatever correspondence can be drawn from the wet rocks.
I'm not doing that with the camera. I guess okay. Whoa, look at all these stalactites. I hope these don't fall down. Would not want to get impaled by one of those. And there's even more candles down here. So Donnelly's never been down here, so I'm assuming Donnelly... Or that's what I just said. Donnelly did not set these candles up. So these are stalagmites coming up. Are they? I mean, stalagmites are usually sharper than that. Are these carved, like, by human hands? Also, did I paint on these walls? Is that paint? Like that fluorescent paint? Or... Can I swim in this? Oh, I just walk over it. Okay. Anyway, every time I go through one of those zones, it gives me an achievement, so I'm assuming that's like the next chapter. Because they're named after, like, characters and stuff. Like Esther, people like that, I guess. Whoa. Look at these mushrooms. This is kind of beautiful if it weren't so creepy. The music is beautiful.
There is no other direction, no other exit from this motorway. Speeding past this junction, I saw you waiting at the roadside, a one last drink in your trembled hands.
So who had the drink? Esther had a drink? Or are you talking to someone else right now? I think anytime he addresses someone as you, it's definitely Esther. Again with the chemistry. 888? What? No. Male symbol? Like masculine symbol? Mars? Arrows pointing vaguely upwards? I don't know. What's with all the chemicals? You know, I took a class one time. Is that the anarchy symbol? I don't think so. I took a class in college called The Chemistry of Beer. So, I don't know. I have the context of alcohol and chemistry together. Is that what all this chemistry is about? Is it like literally the chemistry of whatever alcohol was being consumed by the drunk driver? I'm assuming was Paul, based on the fact that he had to meet up with Paul. What he said about Paul earlier. That he didn't want an apology from Paul or something. It's not every day you get to meet, the drunk driver who killed your wife or whatever. That must be some heavy stuff. Like, I don't think anybody would want to do that, but it takes strength to be able to go through something like that. Reconcile, or attempt to reconcile something like that. Whoa, this is an epic waterfall cave. I don't think I'm gonna make it across there. I think the only way I can go is down, so... Geronimo? Why is it a thing that, like, soldiers or whatever say Geronimo when they jump out of a plane? Geronimo is a Native American name. It's somebody famous, I'm pretty sure. Or it's a tribe. I don't know. I need to look that up. I need to educate myself about that. But, look at the texture. That looks almost like photorealistic there. So I guess I've been down here before, if I had time to write things on the walls in these caves. Red glow. Can I jump down? I'm assuming I can jump down there. Whoa. Oh, crap. Okay. Well, I didn't die from jumping down there. Oh, did I just... This is where I came from, isn't it? Yeah, I jumped down from even higher up before. Okay. I think I just accidentally backtracked. Oh, that's stupid. Just like wasted time backtracking. Although I didn't see that, whatever that golden shiny thing is there, I didn't see it before. And I don't think that's anything. I think that's just the water. The way the water looks. Okay. I didn't want to add too much time. I'm not entirely sure how long this game is supposed to be. I don't think it's... I've been told it's not a long game, which is why I could do it in like one sitting. But... I don't want to add more time than I need to, if you know what I mean. Alright, don't fall down this time. Stay to the left. You know how they say keep your hands on the right side of the wall and you'll find your way out of the labyrinth or maze? Well, that doesn't apply here, where you have to stick to the left, sidle along the left. Slippery slope. And there's a candle. That's what that glows. Somebody's been here recently, and it's spooking me. I keep, like, looking behind me. I keep forgetting that I'm playing a game. That's how immersive this is. Like spelunking now. Oh, where am I? Whoa, this is getting like claustrophobic down here. I don't think anybody in their right mind would venture down here alone, especially without a reason. I think I've got a reason. Of that I can be sure.
I am traveling through my own body, following the line of infection from the shattered femur towards the heart. I swallow fistfuls of painkillers to stay lucid. In my delirium, I see the twin lights of the moon and the aerial shining to me through the rocks.
Okay, so... Well, this is like a river. I guess that's the path up. But... is this really happening? Like, am I really on an island? Or is this all just a hallucination? You know what I mean? Like, I think all this stuff... I think Donnelly and Jacobson, I don't know how those guys are going to be real because they have, like, a history on this island. Or, I mean, I don't know how they wouldn't be real. But the stuff between me and Esther... But then again, I mean, I don't know. Are they all just, like... metaphors for other people who did similar things in the reality of this game? Because we saw where I lived, or you, or he, whatever, lived with Esther. But is that in my head, or is it based on a real place? Alright, I guess the mouth of this river, or the top of this river, whatever. This is not the mouth, I'm going upstream, but the mouth of the river is downstream, right? I know these things. I don't think this is going to get me anywhere. So let's follow the river downstream. I'm just trying to make sure I hit everything. It's a vast cavern. I would ask where this river is. That totally looks like an anarchy symbol over there. That's where I came from, yeah. That, like, land bridge thing. Oh, wait, is there another land bridge? No, this is the other path. Okay. I feel like I'm in, like, a Jules Verne novel. I feel like I'm in Journey to the Center of the Earth. Is there anything to see here? It's a boat. Paper boat. Oh gosh, now I'm thinking of Stephen King's It. And like Georgie. The boat. That's not what I wanted to think of right now. Go back to H.G. Wells. Jules Verne. He's the author. He's a slightly less disturbing author. H.G. Wells is pretty disturbing. Jules Verne is more of just an adventurous writer than a disturbing writer. Journey to the Center of the Earth. Well, read it. It's a fun little romp through, well, the center of the Earth. It's science fiction. He's one of the fathers of science fiction, along with H.G. Wells. Anyway, discussing literature. If you know me, that's what I tend to do. So we're gonna go up there. Chemical bonds. That same thing is written everywhere. I really want to know what that means. Like, what does that signify? If I knew chemistry, I mean, is there anybody who knows chemistry who could just look at that and be like, oh, that means that, and then this game is a whole new context for them? Because if it does, please let me know. Maybe I'll look it up later. I don't know how I'll look it up. I can't exactly type that into a Google search. But is that a different chemical? I don't know. Minerals. What are these minerals? I can't go that way. This is... Whoa, this is like a starry, trippy mineral tunnel.
This is a drowned man's face, reflected in the moonlit waters. It can only be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
Now that you mention it, I can't see my reflection in the water. Of course I can. Am I really physically here? I don't see... Like, this guy never holds his hands up to his face to look at them, or anything. I don't have a reflection, which leads me to believe I'm not physically present in this world. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the game wouldn't just overlook that. I feel like that's intentional. Could be wrong. I don't know. What? It says something there. That is not a chemical bond. That says, "Behold, Damascus is heaven risen." Behold, Damascus. Okay, whoa. Someone wrote all over this tunnel. We're taking this Paul on the road to Damascus thing even further now. Damascus, though, Damascus town? I can't read that. It's really blurry. But it definitely says something about Damascus. Wow. Looks like all this stuff was written in an intricate fit of madness. There's more chemistry. Away from being a city. And it shall be a... I can't read that. And it shall be a righteous city. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read the Bible verse that this, like, I'm gonna have to read the chapters in the Bible that have to deal with the road to Damascus. We were just studying Acts in church these last few weeks. We've been studying the book of Acts. Not just like Paul, but all the disciples in the, aftermath of the ascension of Jesus and what they did for the other, the acts of the apostles and how they served the people around them. So this is pretty relevant to, subject matter to my life, as it always should be. Now we're swimming. Now we had no choice but to swim through this tunnel. Whoa. What's that? What's that say? No, that's just... Okay, that's just the gleaming water off the walls. Or the water gleaming off the walls. The shininess looks like words. I guess it's like the line is blurred between... Alright. Is this another situation where I must jump? Is that a can of paint? Acts 22... 0? Acts 22... 10? It can't be 0, because the first verse of the chapter is 1. Unless there's some hidden apocryphal verse that is being suggested here. You know what? I'm gonna read this to you, because I have a Bible app on my phone. And I want to get this right. Acts 22. I'm using this is the English Standard Version. Acts 22, verse 1, I guess. Brothers and fathers, hear the defense I now make before you. When they heard he was addressing them in the Hebrew language, they became even more quiet, and he said, I am a Jew, born in Tarsus in Cilicia, but brought up in this city, educated at the feet of Gamaliel, according to the strict manners of the law. Our fathers being zealous for God as all was this day. I persecuted this way to the death, binding and delivering into prison both men and women as the high priest. And the whole council of elders can bear me witness. From them I received letters to the brothers, and I journeyed toward Damascus to take those also who were there and bring them in bonds to Jerusalem to be punished. That's just Paul giving context as to what his life was like before. As I was on my way and drew near to Damascus about noon, a great light from heaven suddenly shone around me, and I fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to me, and now these words are in red, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Obviously the voice of Jesus, or the voice of God, / Jesus. And I answered, who are you, Lord? And he said to me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom you are persecuting. Now those who were with me saw the light and did not understand the voice of the one who was speaking to me. So we had like a whole traveling party with him, but the Lord was speaking to him alone. What shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said to me, rise and go into Damascus. And this is verse 10 right here. And I said, what shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said to me, rise and go into Damascus, and there you will be told all that is appointed for you to do. And since I could not see because of the brightness of that light, I was led by the hand by those who were with me, and came into Damascus. Okay, so then he gets there, and, well, a guy named Ananias, a devout man, said, Brother Saul, receive your sight. And at that very hour I received my sight and saw him. And he said, the God of our fathers appointed you to know his will, to see the righteous one, and to hear a voice from his mouth. For you will be a witness for him to everyone of what you have seen and heard. And now why do you wait? Rise and be baptized, wash away your sins, calling on his name. Okay. And then God tells him to get out of Jerusalem because nobody will accept his testimony after all he's done. So this is a redemption story. Anyway, I won't read the whole chapter. I basically just did that. But verse 10 is the part where he says, go to Damascus and you'll be told what you need to do. Which is of course, to be redeemed and to open your eyes to the Lord. That's a significant thing about being blind and then being able to see again, which is what happened to Paul, and the transition point where he became Paul instead of Saul. Anyway, Acts 22, I guess that's 10, or is that 22:20? There's not even 20 verses. Is there 20 verses? Yeah. Verse 20 would be, I myself was standing and approving, watching over the garments of those who killed him. Killed Saint Stephen, actually. Now he's talking about Stephen, who was persecuted by Saul, I believe. Yeah. Well, he was standing by, so he didn't personally beat Stephen. He just was complacent in that. Anyway, I'll stop this little Bible study interlude, but it's fascinating and it's pertinent to the game. So that's what Acts 22:10 is, if that's what they're alluding to there. Go to Damascus and be told what to do. So if Damascus is in fact down at the bottom of this waterfall, can I even... Whoa, no. Yeah, okay. Can't go anywhere but down. Okay. Okay, speaking of roads to places. Oh man, this is the first time we've seen, like, civilization. What's that? It's an IV. Oh, it's a bed. It's a hospital bed with things on it. What are those, coins? I don't know what those are. This is creepy. Can I read? I bet it's gonna say something like inscribed on the billboards. Maybe not. There's a lot of streetlights on this road. Oh man, how much of this place can we explore? Oh. Was kind of a tease. Am I back on the island? We have to go back, Kate. We have to go back. Yeah, we're okay. Well, that was interesting. I guess I have to go that way. I do like this motif of rising up from the fountain and being reborn. I don't know if that's what's going on, but that is something that I use in my own writing from time to time. Rising from the fount into a new world. Is that how he got to this island originally? How did he get to this island originally? Because I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm just like scared that when I play back this video, like the face cam is going to show things in the background, like figures are going to be moving behind me that I didn't see. Because I can't see the face cam, like, until I save the video. Just the air conditioner. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the final chapter. And there are still candles. And it's night time. I'm gonna go this way first. I don't know which way is the right way to go, but that looks...
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
Okay, so he doesn't know if he doesn't know, he can't even tell the difference between himself or Donnelly anymore, like who did what, or who painted any of this stuff. That's creepy. That's interesting. I'm definitely getting the, what happens if I go over here? The losing one's sanity vibe. Okay, not yet. No, I came so far. What? Okay. What the heck? Thank you. Like, does it matter if I take the low ground or the high ground? I'm no Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's for sure. Oh, there's a candle on that one. Can I... Does this matter if I do this? Guess not. Wow, the moon is huge tonight. That is a gigantic full moon in the distance. I think this is the exact place where, I don't know, where I just went, where I just walked before. Maybe not. I kind of want to see what's up there. I kind of regret not looking at it. I feel like that candle will illuminate something interesting. Okay, what the heck? How do I... Oh, do I have to go like all the way back here to get up there? Just no. Arg. The world geometry is the biggest gameplay challenge in this game. And it's pretty forgiving most of the time, but I feel like any of these, a screenshot of any of these sites would make a good background, or like wallpaper, I don't know. See, I told you something was over here. This looks important. What's that? What's sitting in front of those candles? Oh, it's just another thing of paint? Whoa, no, it's a... Well, it's a paintbrush. There are 7 candles. Of course there are, because 7 is a holy number. I just like to be thorough. I tend to be pretty completionist in games, and I'm really not a completionist at heart, because I don't know that I've ever really completed a game 100%. I mean, that's definitely not true, but I tend to not complete games 100%. I do my version of complete, and I think this game is all about that. Is that a person up there? Whoa, yeah, that's a person. Somebody's watching me. Whoa. That's
Dear Esther,
creepy.
I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's really disturbing. What's this? Is this a newspaper clipping? No, it's not. Oh, it's not. It's a computer? What is that? It's like some kind of machine. It's like a old school computer, portable TV. I don't know. What the heck? Oh, they're still there. That's really... Go away. Who are you? What if I, like, call out? I don't think I'm gonna get a good look at this person. It's definitely a person, though. Is that Donnelly? I don't know. Is that Esther? Is it Jacobson? Or Paul? I don't know. Those are like the only people ever mentioned in this game. There's the thing again. What does it say? Was that a picture again? It was a different picture. I can't really tell what that is, but it's definitely a person on steps in front of a pillar. I don't know. I am quite unnerved at the moment, in case you can't tell. There's the Eye of Sauron, ever vigilant. That's just what I'm going to keep calling it. I know this is not a Lord of the Rings spin-off, but... Boy, there's like a whole bunch of these little shrines, aren't there? Whoa, this one is vaguely cross-shaped. Tires, bits of a car. As though in an accident or the aftermath thereof. Huh. So who was the drunk driver? Was it Donnelly? Or was it Paul?
There were chemical diagrams on the posters on the walls on the waiting room. It seemed appropriate at the time. Still life abstractions of the processes which had already begun to break down your nerves and your muscles in the next room. I crammed diazepam as I once crammed for chemistry examinations. I am revising my options for a long and happy life.
Okay, so the chemical reactions outlined on the walls are like what was happening to Esther as she was dying. Heaven, from heaven, shone around me. Oh, that's the light from heaven. Okay, so this is definitely from Acts 22. A light from heaven shone down around me, blinded me. Does this go somewhere? I feel like this goes somewhere. a circle. Okay. I feel like this is a dead end. Can I climb up there?
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Oh, okay, so the letters are these, the physical letters. He folds it into these paper boats, and I'm assuming her ashes are in there too, because that's what it sounded like he just said. I'm kind of afraid to see what's going to be in that little building over there. Is there any point to going back along this trail? Because I took the lower path. I don't think so. I think I'm just backtracking for no reason right now. But you never know. Like I said, completionism. That's just the verse, the thing that says light from heaven shone. Yeah, okay. There's no point to going all the way back there. Alright, let's go see what's in that shed. It's amazing that these candles are all staying lit for so long, which leads me to believe in the supernaturalness of this place. Supernatural component, or I don't know, properties. What's in here? Oh my goodness. On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him and he fell to the ground. Okay, well that's just the same thing. Are these birds' eggs in a nest? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Huh, okay, well... Okay. I guess I should have expected that just more writing would be on the walls in there. And I don't think there's much more for me to do except climb those stairs. If I run into a spider named Shelob in the cave up there, I have no idea. Well, we're getting close to that tower now. I think we're getting close to the end of things here. It's quiet. Too quiet. Is there still someone watching me, by the way? Like, there was a person there. You saw that, right? Remember? I think they were up here. Actually, I think we're approaching where that person was.
A sound of torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal as I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass.
Wait, so he was in the car accident too? Should I go down there, or... Okay. Oh, I think it's gonna converge here anyway. Yeah, that's totally... Look, there's totally the person over there still. Oh. Oh, can we walk right up to them? Oh, man. I'm trying to see, like, recognize what they look like from the outline. They're wearing baggy clothing. I don't know. music.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Okay, so this is totally where the person was standing. And plot twist, that person was me all along. I guess. Or maybe not, but now it is, because I'm standing here now. But how did I guess that I wasn't going to be able to actually walk up to that individual? And something was proceeding, and as I was proceeding, or something, is that what this is? Proceeding. I can't read that. Can't read it, and then it just blurs into a mess of white lines. That totally says something. Wait, Damascus, near Damascus. I had come near to Damascus. Are we nearing our own personal Damascus here? Nor drink, eat nor drink. Yeah, that's what that said on the boat earlier.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Is that what syphilis was? Wait, so Donnelly had syphilis. Is that what Jacobson had? Is that why his bone... Is that the symptoms of syphilis? Like bones becoming brittle? I don't know, actually. It doesn't sound good, though. Everyone who comes to this island gets, like, sick and infected. Oh, wow, there's, like, another building over here.
Bent back like a nail, like a hangnail, like a drowning man clung onto the wheel, drunk and spiraled, washed onto the lost shore under a moon as fractured as a shattered wing. We cleave, we are flight and suspended, these wretched painkillers, this form inconstant. I will take flight, I will take flight.
What's in here? Oh gosh, what's in here? Nothing? Just candles? Say something? So I feel like this character's sense of self, there's, again, like, this character's sanity has disintegrated, for lack of a better way to put that, as we've progressed. The painkillers are kicking in. He keeps talking about painkillers and kidney stones and, you know, all these things. I feel like he's on his deathbed right now or something, or he's in the hospital right now undergoing all this treatment. And this is his vision as he's doing so. Uh-oh. Danger. Unauthorized personnel, keep out. That... Okay. It says something there. Can't read it very well, though. Yeah, this game ended up being, you know, quite surreal. It was pretty surreal from the get-go, but it only kind of crescendoed into more surreality. Surrealness? Surreality? Is that a thing? Is that a word? I should know this. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure that's the noun for a place that's surreal. From heaven... something... I wonder if this would be more legible if I kept, like, the quality, like, super HD, but I don't know, I've been able to read enough to be able to follow it. It's the Damascus, not C.
Blind with panic, Deaf with the roar of the caged traffic, Hart stopped on the road to Damascus. Paul sat at the roadside, hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull, as useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goatherd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sanford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact. This is not a recorded natural condition. He should not be sat there with his chemicals and his circuit diagrams. He should not be sat there at all.
Paul... Okay, so Paul was orchestrating this whole event of killing Esther with me. Here with me. Oh, I hear something creaking. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Who's Paul? Who's Donnelly? Who killed Esther? Damascus. And here we are at Damascus. Okay. Is there a person there? Is that, yeah, that looks like a person to me. Behind that fence right there. You don't see it? They're watching me. It's a shadow. It's a ring wraith. Or something. Oh, if I'm going to talk to this person. We've not seen another human being this whole game.
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
You know, I've had dreams like this, like that, like this.
Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus. I have drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.
Okay. He's climbing up the radio tower, which I'm not even sure why is here in the first place. Is he gonna jump? Or is he gonna fly? I don't know. He said he was gonna fly. It's falling in slow motion, that's for sure. Okay. Is that it? Okay, huh. So, I'm not sure exactly what just happened. I guess there's two different components, like two different sides to the same coin of this game. Also, the Chinese room. Good crew. A lot of people worked on this game, and they're all very talented. The Chinese room is actually, I looked it up, the name of like the company that made this. It's actually based on a thought experiment. Oh man, I forget what it was. It was something about the Turing test of like whether or not a computer can actually have intelligence, or if it's just like regurgitating a formula that seems like something that it understands, but it's like rote learning basically. Like if I just pick up a English Chinese dictionary and I just like read one word at a time, but I do it as quick as a computer, I don't really know Chinese. And like if I translate it and then write it down and then hand it to somebody, I don't really know how to speak Chinese. I just did a process of like translating really quickly. So that's kind of what the Chinese room thought experiment is. That's kind of, I looked it up. I'm probably doing a poor job of explaining it, but develops at the University of Portsmouth, UK. So that you know this is an intelligent game. It was developed with the help of a university, or at a university, I guess. So this is a very academic game. But anyway, I guess my post-game thoughts are, like I said, two sides of the same coin. There was actually a story about a physical island where, like, in one universe, like this guy Donnelly and Jakobsen were on an island, and this island was like infected for some reason. It was like not a healthy place. There was disease. It was disease-ridden and everything. But there was some reason. It seems like prime real estate or something. I don't know. And then this guy, the main guy, and Esther lived there. But there's also the story of, like, I guess before coming to the island. See, I don't know, because it's like it's basically just about a guy who's trying to forgive another guy who was a drunk driver who killed his wife. I'm assuming Esther is his wife. He never calls Esther his wife, but we can glean that Esther is the love of his life, or a woman he loved, you know? Esther is also a biblical name, by the way, from the Old Testament. So we can, you know, like, and royalty at that. So it's like she's high and mighty. Paul, who, you know, the character who's represented by Paul is a redeemed character. The main character goes through his own... Well, okay, the main character is out to forgive the drunk driver who killed his wife. Or reconcile, we see that. And the drunk driver was this Paul guy. But at some points, they talk about Donnelly like he was the drunk driver. I guess he was his own drunk on the island, or something. Or he had his own problems with alcoholism on the island. But I think Paul was the guy who actually was on the road, who hit Esther. And I guess the main character that you play as was in the car accident with Esther, and now he's in the hospital or somewhere on painkillers and all this stuff. And that's inducing this whole vision. But where the line between reality and hallucination comes into play, that's kind of up for interpretation, because it's like, does this island physically exist? Well, there's all this lore behind it, like it does. But I don't think it matters if it really exists in the landscape of the main character's psyche, if that makes any sense. Because his personal journey is reconciliation and forgiveness. and being reunited with the love of his life in the afterlife. So, by the end, he's set free. He's obviously not physically there. There's obviously supernatural things happening. Like, he jumps off of the radio tower and flies free on the island with Esther, I'm assuming, or with her spirit, you know? At the end, he said something akin to her spirit or her presence was keeping him afloat, or it was the rocks on his, was the, you know, the fortified ground that was keeping him going. What, something to that extent. I can't remember what he said, but I don't think I'm going to come up with the definitive answer, you know, as to what this game is about, just on the spot. But I have thoughts, and it is a deeply interpretive, interesting... There's a lot to unpack in this game, is what I'm saying. And that's good. That's a hallmark of a good game. A good story. A good work of art, which I believe this is. So, yeah, dear Esther, it was an experience, and I might have to revisit it. I know there are different versions of the narrative that you can get, or different versions of the sound clips, or the voiceover clips that you can get. I don't know how drastically the actual, like, story changes, or, like, what you can gather from the story changes, but I think it's generally it's just different insights into different details of the same piece. I don't think it's going to change, like, what the whole grand scheme is about, or the theme, or whatever. But anyway, I've gone on talking too long. I do think the theme of this piece is forgiveness, reconciliation, acceptance, love, memories, finding oneself, gathering meaning, and accepting one's own life. And I think at the end, what we see, you know, the main character, accepts and forgives the people in his life and finds them again. The people he loves, I mean. And especially Esther, obviously. And all this very human stuff was told in a story without seeing one person, well, without really seeing one person on screen the whole time. I'm not counting those little glimpses, those chilling little glimpses. And I don't know who to say who that was that we were glimpsing. But I do think this story has a positive message in the end, and an important one. Anyway, that's all for now. This was awesome, this was exciting, and I hope to do more things like this in the future. Anyway, until then, I'm gonna get some rest, and I probably have dreams of flying, as I tend to do. I'll see you in the next thing. Good night, everyone.